Today's topic is very interesting as it's not only real but something that pretty almost everyone over here would have experienced, that is a victory or a defeat. While success on one hand gives us pleasure, happiness, encouragement, and makes us proud, defeat drags us down both emotionally and mentally. Today's topic streamlines what is in us that makes us feel small on the success of others. Is defeat and success only terms that we as individuals have coined, or do they signify something to us? So, over to you, Sujata Auntie, to help us relearn the concept in a brand new way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was such a strong introduction to the topic that we are going to take on today. And as you mentioned, I think all of us have felt this in different ways, um, professionally, personally. At some points in our lives, we feel when we see others succeeding, we sometimes feel like a failure within. So today I just thought that before I go into a deeper conversation, why not hear from some of you, and I wrote to some of you in the morning because I know that we are in constant touch and you do go through these kind of emotional upheavals. And particularly I find this in corporates, in offices, because that's when some of you young ones reach out to me and say that, the boss is favorable towards somebody, or the organization is favorable towards somebody. Actually, it's even in homes. Sometimes you feel, the siblings feel it amongst themselves, or other relationships are sometimes tarnished by this belief that there is a kind of a bias towards somebody else, which really may not be the case. But even if it is the case, in some cases, if there is a bias towards, say, a particular child or a particular employee in an organization, that does not in any which way, that should not in any which way put you down. And I know many of you here have come back to me saying that, this is what stops you from moving ahead, because there is favoritism or there is a bias towards somebody in the office, and there's been an appraisal but it's not been fair for me, the others have been favored or whatever, and you bring in that point of dissatisfaction and the feeling of injustice. And actually that is what blocks your success, that is what blocks your progress, not the actual say report. So first, let's hear from some of you, Nitika, Pooja, Poonam. I want to hear from you, people who may be facing this or may have heard about this. And even in like, on the personal front, or not so-called corporate careers that we have, a lot of times we feel threatened when somebody else is more successful, whichever field, if it may be similar to yours, that you feel threatened. And that's what actually pulls you down. So I would love to hear from some of you. I don't know if Vani is here. Yeah, Vani is also here. So anybody can share a bit and then we can pick it up from there.
Okay, so I'll start.
Please, please.
Yes, I send you a message. How do you get my vibrations? Because that's exactly what I often go through and perhaps is going through. It is a very, very common feeling that I do not know whether it is a threat, but yes, sort of an insecurity maybe, that when you are in that environment, you're giving your 100%, but you just don't get the chance to, or an opportunity to, grow or get more opportunities to be there in the system for a longer time, or express your experiences and so on and so forth. And the others are given. It is a very depressing feeling. It's a very demotivated feeling also.
Yeah, but do you really feel that it is personally directed towards you? Do you believe?
Yeah, I would think so. Yes, sometimes very, very strongly, because I think men patriarchy still exists. I mean, I am a team of the leadership team that I work with. I'm the only single woman there. And when I voice out, it is either sometimes not heard, or, just heard and not taken any action, or just subdued completely. Maybe I feel there is some sort of a patriarchy that exists also.
Well, I think that's also, I mean, it could be the case because, and that, the fact that you are the only woman in your team, it makes you feel in a way that, yeah, the others get their way. But honestly, I'm not even going into the aspect of patriarchy or male dominated society or anything like that, because that's not what I want to pick up from. You know, it's just going to show you that when you feel it in whichever ways you feel it, and even though you say it's not a threat, it's definitely, what is the demotivating feeling? It's a feeling of not being able to move ahead and feeling that somebody else is getting the
Given a chance.
that you should be getting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right, so you feel deprived in such a way. Now that
correct.
deprivation, that resistance, that unhappiness is actually what blocks your success. It's like the universe has abundance. If I ask for it, I ask for something and the universe is giving me what I want. That does not mean that it's snatching away uh, from your source and giving it to me. That's not how it is. Most of us here on this group right now are, we have children, and you would understand that when you are, say, expressing your love for one child, that does not mean, I would say in a very, very rare cases, it would mean so. It does not mean that you're not loving the other child, isn't it? But as children, we feel that sometimes. Even in grown-up relationships, a lot of times we feel that if there is a focus on one, say, one sibling or one child, that the others will not be appreciated or looked at. That's not the case. That's only because of your own internal insecurity. And the moment you get out of that resistance, knowing that you are getting your share and the other is getting their share, then you will come into that space of abundance. We block our abundance because we get caught in that low feeling or in that threatened feeling. The universe has so much to offer to everybody. And just as a parent, as you would say that, okay, at this moment, maybe I'm focusing or I'm loving or saying something, appreciating one child, that does not mean that I'm putting down the other child at all. It is only because the other child feels a lack. Say one child is very good in sports, and when the child is doing good in sports, you would appreciate that child in sports. And the other one who's not so good in sports immediately feels, say, I don't want to, if you don't want to use the word threatened, immediately feels like a sense of insecurity, that I'm not good enough. But maybe this child is good in academics or is good in, some creative field. That's also just fine. So that's what we need to check ourselves when we feel that way, whether it is in personal relationships or in professional relationships. Everybody has their own place in every which way. This used to happen a lot with us, and I say this from my experience, that when we were new in this field of healing, or when we got onto the spiritual path and we had a teacher or a mentor, if one student was praised, the other would immediately feel like a kind of a, not so good feeling inside. And that's where you block your progress. Because the teacher or the mentor or a parent is not putting you down. They're only appreciating or acknowledging the other person for what they have done at that moment, because they need acknowledgement. It's as simple as that. Why can we not just take it in that way? But if
But
we
Auntie, may I ask one thing? That if a parent, sorry,
yeah,
may I?
go ahead, Pooja.
If a parent understands that this particular child, now taking the example that you just said, that if the parent feels that this particular child is too sensitive about all these things, shouldn't a parent be more towards this child and understand the emotion that the child is feeling, that he feels that I am not loved much or whatever?
I agree. I totally agree. But do you feel that the child who's accomplished something should not be appreciated?
No, of course they should be. Of course, I mean, otherwise the other child will become victim of this
Yeah.
same thing.
In fact, if one child is sensitive, yes, the parents need to handle that child with sensitivity, but that does not mean that the other child who's good in something or is working towards something should not be appreciated. In fact,
Totally.
you're not comparing. That's what happens. We feel that there's a comparison when we are doing this, but it's not a comparison. It's only
Mm.
an appreciation or an acknowledgement of something which is there at that moment. And yes, a lot of times I also correct parents. I also correct myself, because we need to understand that if we are going on, say, praising or talking about one child, the other child does get into a kind of a complex, but that is only because the child is already nurturing something like that, isn't it? If the child is very confident, may not be very good in so many things, is an average student, but is very confident about himself or herself, and the other child is excelling in everything, the other child who's an average student will not feel anything. It's only when your confidence is low that it will hit you. And so it is in offices or in
Yeah.
organizations.
Yeah, that is true. If their confidence is low, and on top of it, if the parents don't pay that kind of an attention, I think that's where this entire thing just goes out of proportion, and the child becomes little more weak and lacks a lot of confidence more so.
Yeah, that's okay. That's we understand. And that's the sensitivity that we need to bring in as humans, not just as parents, because this is not just about parenting. We are at that stage where sometimes we feel envy, we feel jealousy. Don't we feel that a lot of times in um, rejection, maybe in general ways in our lives? Don't we feel that? And that's where we need to pick ourselves up, because there is some kind of a resistance that comes in, and that resistance causes the dissatisfaction, and that actually blocks the abundance from flowing into your life. Yes, Savita, let's hear what you have to say.
That's exactly what I wanted to say, that it's just not children. It's all of us, and that's what mostly brings us down. Lack of self-confidence. Even at this age of 48, I can say that it's just the days you don't have confidence, your entire day blows. And the littlest of triggers can really, take you off the entire bandwagon. So I feel more than anything else, yes, talent is very important, but I really feel exactly what you're saying, that confidence is one of the most key factors, whether it's a child or an adult, to really wade you through a lot of things, I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. But then you have to reflect internally, isn't it? You have to reflect internally, Suvita, to see that what is it that I'm getting triggered with. I mean, am I living my life in competition? Am I getting up every day to compete with something? That's not how we really want to live our lives, isn't it? Can we not come into a more centered, a more relaxed, a more say confirmed space from which we operate? And even if there is, like, especially those who are working in corporates, and I'm repeating this because many of them, and I would love to hear from Poonam, also, that many a times this comes up because there's that race, especially in the corporate world, to prove yourself, to beat the other person, and that's what is leading to so much of bitterness.
But that's competition. So Rajati, what I'm talking about is general confidence.
Yeah, but you see, if you are generally a confident person in your office, and there could be a lot in terms of the corporate world, and you're there with your confidence, then
the competition doesn't
it happens in families. Look at families, even if children are not living together, where there are relationships in terms of two sons, their wives, daughter-in-laws. Everybody has that, sister-in-laws. Everybody has that kind of competition, isn't it? It comes in everywhere. That's a different kind of a corporate setup, if you ask me, where you look in joint families, even if they're staying separately. You just say if somebody has done something, just mention it. Instantly, the other one will feel, oh, I'm not being praised, or I did this last time, but I was not praised. That's because at that moment, you're feeling a lack of confidence. In fact, if you can join in into the happiness of that person at that moment, that, okay, my brother did this for my mother and she's feeling good about it, I should feel happy about it, that we are doing it collectively in some way. But that oneness doesn't come in. That's the separation that I'm slowly coming to talk about in this session today. So that's only when we feel a sense of separation, that I have to beat the other, I have to compete from the other, I have to have a higher thing. That's when I'm not able to do it. That's when my confidence goes down. But if I know that I'm doing what I need to at the level, I may not be able to match up to my sibling or to my other relatives or to my colleagues. It doesn't matter. I know my limitations, and from my heart, I'm doing my best. That's what we need to come into, that sense of contentment and happiness. And that's when the joy begins to come. Isn't it?
It's true.
Yes, Poonam.
So I think, I mean, I can correlate this to like 5 years back when I joined a new team. And at that point, I mean, my structure is such that, I sit somewhere, somebody else is my manager, and that sort of scenario. The first thought when I actually joined and I had my first appraisal was that because I have left X person's team, I probably will not be able to, get the kind sort of appraisals that I have been getting. But I think over a period of time, what really happened is I started enjoying what was I getting in being part of the new team, which was like I was more relaxed. I was not shouting at people. I could focus on myself. My parents were happy that they are not coming across to a bitter person. Um and somehow I was like, I was really, I mean, that somehow resonated with me much better, that just to get another rank up or another rating up, I was just kind of sacrificing so much, which actually was not necessary. I mean, I'm still being appreciated, yeah, I do understand. For 2 years I might not have got the same sort of appraisal the way I'm used to, uh, but yeah, there are other aspects which came up. uh, and to be honest, I just kind of, when I joined and there was a lot of comprehension and stuff like that, I didn't know really what to do, where to go. But the only thing is that I just kind of stick to myself, that it is all okay. 5 years down the line, I'm actually heading that team, which I never imagined. um, Things just opened up. I mean, just one day, just all of a sudden, I asked my manager that, okay, you are doing this, I would like to help you. And I think that was like I sowed the seed of where I am today. um and then, yeah, I mean, and so much so now that the previous team needs me more than, so yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Poonam. Wonderful. Yes, Veena, go ahead.
Sujata, I
Yeah.
was just thinking about this, and I feel that I have struggled with this for a very large part of my life. It's so close to home. In terms of my life partner was always more successful in career when we both started off as equals in university. And even though I always felt I was smarter and better, I was never successful in my career the way my life partner was, and I could never feel joy for him. I know I'm very selfish, and I know when you're saying this to try to feel what oneness and good, I don't know where that will come from. When you're not. I mean, I don't know how to get to that space that you're suggesting. It's quite a tough thing for me, and I think it has got in the way also of relationship, right? With in the family, when one person is not feeling good about themselves and wondering, I'm the smarter one, like what's going on, like I'm even better, but I don't know what was it, and I never got there, yeah. I mean, I would love to learn how to get there.
Thank you. And in fact, that's why I wrote to you today morning, Veena. I wouldn't write to you for a Sunday, but I
Yeah.
sensing that since our last conversation, and since this last 1 month with what we've been talking, and I was sensing that kind of a thing. And actually, I'm very happy that you're sharing this so honestly, even if it is with your own partner, you're sharing this because I'm sure a lot of other people also feel so. They are smarter. You're also handling the other front a lot of times. We are more also involved in the house setup and all, but somehow you're not able to enjoy his success, is what you're saying,
Never,
right?
never.
That's where the
Yeah.
selfishness, and see how honestly you're sharing this. So ask yourself, do you really want to be that person who's like selfish and cannot enjoy the joy of anything? Like, put yourself, I would say the simplest way when you ask how can I achieve it, simplest way is one thing. Just imagine or just visualize that you have achieved that success. You have achieved that, say that promotion or that appraisal or whatever it is, and you come home and you share it with your partner, and he's like, it's okay, or doesn't feel good about it. How would you feel? How would you feel? And you may say, yeah, but he always feels like this. Okay, if he feels, how would you feel, and how would you want to feel, and how would you want the other person to feel? You cannot enjoy it till you are actually feeling happy about the other person. And why are we not wanting to look at the other person's success? Why are we not wanting to appreciate the other person's success only because I'm not successful? Now that's really living from a constricted space, isn't it? That's really living from a constricted, and that's when our ego comes in so strongly. Maybe if the same thing happened with a neighbor or somebody who was not so personal to you, you would appreciate it because it was not personal, isn't it? But here, because there is so much of a personalization, and maybe there are other things which are not, say, harmonious between you and him, you are not able to enjoy his success. And actually, in that way, you're only putting yourself down. You're only putting yourself down and depriving yourself of the joy or the happiness that is coming into the house. Now, whether it comes in through a partner, whether it comes in through a child, whether it comes in through an adult or somebody else in the home, the fact is that it is bringing a high vibration into the house, into the relationship, isn't it? Obviously, he's feeling a high with what he's getting and trying to achieve, isn't it? You can either sulk in the corner or you can be a party to that, isn't it? But you have to open up your heart to understand that, okay, so God is giving me this happiness in a different way, through a different channel. Why does it have to be that I have to succeed? Only then I will be joyous. When you start feeling the joy with the success of your partner in this case, you will see that how that same joy comes to you in different forms through your own success also. But this way you're limiting your success. So even if it is like you're new to this group, to not so new, but yeah, a lot of times we say that in energy work, fake it till you make it. You just have to say, repeat it to yourself that it's okay. There is success that has come into the house. Let me be happy. But it's like, no, if I'm happy, I can't be happy at his cost. That's the ego speaking. Instantly, the ego comes in that you can't be happy. See, he's not been good to you. See, he's done this in the past, blah, 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 whatever your mind will say. And you will actually ruin that happiness for him and for yourself. And you want that happiness should come at your conditions. He should behave in a particular way. He should be, and I'm not judging him or judging you at all, because there could be so many things in the relationship besides this, isn't it? It's there in all relationships, whether it's a partner, whether it's a child, whether it's a parent. There's so many other factors that are also involved. But don't let yourself be limited by that. Look at it, come into a neutral space and say, okay, so, what is the normal or even the conditioned way of responding to this? It would be to be happy, isn't it? If your child does well in school and comes home with a good report card, how happy do you feel? Isn't it? But then it's not just the effort of the child, it's your effort also that you have taught the child or you've brought up the child. So then the ego feels happy. But here also, in a very subtle way, that success belongs to you as much as it belongs to him also. Right? But that's not the parameter to be happy. That's not the parameter to say. It's just like there is a high vibration that is coming into the house, or there is a joy that is coming into the house. There is a successful person who's there. And can I not bring myself to enjoy that success? And then you will see how many barriers you just break off between him and you. Because the instant we guard ourselves and the other person knows, oh, this person is jealous or envious because of my success, that'll never bring in harmony in the relationship, isn't it? And there may be other things, I'm not ruling it out. But if there is one thing that is bringing in harmony, why would I ignore it if I really want to mend the relationship? And it is natural. What you're saying is very natural. A lot of us must be feeling it, not just in partner relationships, but in other relationships also. That's where you need to catch yourself. And understand that negativity, that demotivation, that low vibration, that disappointment, somewhere you are internally beating yourself up because you're not feeling good enough about yourself. But it has nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. We say so many times, if there's success in when you look at organization, it's not just like one team has succeeded. You bring up that whole team success comes into the bigger picture, that the whole organization or the company has progressed, isn't it? It could be okay that 5 people are really working hard, but everybody gets that name, isn't it? Or for a country also, when you feel, oh, the country has grown. It's not that only certain people have made it grow. When you remember going back to school and college days, when your particular, say school got an award, or your particular, like you used to have house teams and all, your team got an award. It could be due to 2-3 people, but the fact was you all shared that happiness, isn't it? You look at a team when say India wins a cricket match against Pakistan, it's like how proud we feel, isn't it? It's not that you have played in the thing, but it's just that you share that happiness. Here, of course, there is an envy thing also when we talk about particular teams, but then it's just a joy that we all share. Don't you feel so happy that your country has won? Can we not filter it down into our homes, into our organizations, into our relationships also? Right? So depersonalize, look at success as success. And then you'll begin to see that how your heart begins to open up, and more you can enjoy that success versus the disappointment. And the moment you come into that vibration, you'll receive personal success also. I can assure you, you will receive personal success. It may be difficult in the beginning. I'm not saying it's that easy. It may be difficult in the beginning, but if you really put your heart to it, and a lot of times you may be feeling happy inside, but you can't express it outside. Your ego doesn't allow you to express it outside, isn't it? I mean, you are very much human, and you have a connect with the partner. So you are feeling a joy somewhere inside. You are feeling that happiness somewhere inside, but it gets very difficult to enjoy it or to make it yours. It has to be mine to be able to, to be able to really enjoy it. But if you dissolve the mind and you just say, okay, there's success, let me enjoy this success. Everybody is being sort of facilitated for it. And let me include myself in that. Any thoughts?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. It's something that I need to find a way. Yeah.
So
But
just
it
catch
makes sense.
yourself there. Just catch yourself there. You
Yeah.
have shared so honestly. Not many would be open to sharing like this. Right? This is something like, because the personal touch comes into the relationship, a personalization comes in, which blocks you from that happiness. Don't deprive yourself from anything that is making you happy in life. And you know what? A lot of times, I'm being again very practical here. Maybe you don't appreciate him on his face or in that way. But when you are with somebody else and you would really appreciate it, saying that, yeah, oh, my partner has got this success. It's just our ego which doesn't let us appreciate it and enjoy it to the fullest there. Isn't it?
Yes.
A lot of times we do that. Let's be honest to ourselves. When we are in a third, like a totally third party position, we say that, oh, my partner has been so successful and all that. But on the face of it, we can't appreciate and accept it. So let's dissolve these things. Let's not live with all this envy and viciousness and maliceness in our heart. Next time you see somebody achieving something, even if that thing has been something that you have desired all your life, you will only achieve it by appreciating and applauding that. And not thinking, oh, I'm deprived. This is not happening to me. Their child is getting married. My child is not getting married. Their son has got a job. My son has not got a job. We feel all these things when we hear that. But if you really appreciate and feel that joy for the other person's child, you will see how soon your child will also get that job. But we are bringing in those blocks for ourselves. And again, understand, I'm not saying this is the only factor. There are so many other factors that are also involved. So let's just try to dissolve all these things. And we know, like you shared, Veena, so honestly, that selfishness, that jealousy, that envy comes into us. So let's just step back and say, no, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to be that person who's jealous or who's envious or who's, who's feeling this selfishness. And if I truly, truly believe this now, that if I really in my heart say, I don't want to be feeling this emotion, it will disappear from your life. But if you want to be that victim and you want to nurture upon it and you want to make it, bigger and bigger in your life, then it will take you down that path for sure. Simple law of attraction. Whatever you focus on, you will receive. And I say this today particularly because it's a very, very powerful time, energetically, astrologically, all around us. Today is the full moon. We have a meditation at 7:30 at night, in case any of you wish to join. And they're saying that this full moon, I'm not an astrologer, so I may not be quoting it in the right way, but after a very long time, all the planets are in a very aligned position. So whatever you set your intent on, whatever you set your mind on for the next, I think 60 days or something, it will really manifest in the way that you want it to. I'll guide you more in the evening meditation. But just on this platform, I want to tell you that let's in our hearts just come into that space and pray and ask for that, that jealousy, that envy, that viciousness to dissolve within us. And really allow us to come into a space where we can open our hearts. We can really open our hearts and enjoy the success of others and catch ourselves if we feel, oh, but why didn't this happen to me? Why is God not giving me this opportunity? Why is my boss not praising me? Stop. Because even if you have achieved some amount of praise or success, you are absolutely dissolving it. Does that make sense, Gitanjali? Anybody can share. Suvidha, Nitika.
Auntie, I wanted to say something.
Yes, Nitali, please go ahead.
Just talking about this, it's making me think of times that, I'm around people who talk about their success a lot. And I feel like going back to manifestation, these people somehow tend to get a lot of success as well because they're so open about, succeeding and doing well in life. And I feel like I personally have always lived in this fear of not saying too much about what I'm doing well in or not sharing success. And it's a very lonely and, sad thing because I want to be able to share it and manifest more of it. Just wanted your thoughts on that because I'm sure there's a middle path to it as well. But I tend to judge people who are so open about their success because this is the way I was raised, that, you must always keep it to yourself, or that nazar aspect and all of that, so
laugh too much, you'll have to cry. But see,
yeah,
that's a belief. The thing is that there is all these things, like you're saying this nazar or whatever, it is only because you're believing in it that you're attracting it. It's exactly the same thing that you're saying. Those people who are talking about their success or, all the time, there's again a difference when they're talking about it. Are they really coming from an ego space? Are they just like kind of boasting, or are they genuinely successful? We don't know that. But the fact is that they are on a high.
Yeah.
They're on a high because even if they're not as successful as they want to be, or that's really not anything that we need to go to. The thing is that they're enjoying their success, even if they have not got it. Who knows? For them, that might be the highest success. For me, that might not be so.
Yeah.
So I would say that, yes, don't live in fear. It's very sad that we have grown up and we've even looked at religion as being full of fear, isn't it? It's only now that I understand the difference between religion and spirituality. Our religions have been very fear-based, and I don't mean to put any religion down in any which way. But when you look at it, that, why will God punish you? I
Yeah.
always say that, why will God punish you?
So true. Yeah.
Only thing is that there is a bigger plan to everything in life. And you have to adjust to that. That plan will not be adjusted according to you. That plan is already made. Right? Why will God punish you that, okay, she's not been a good child. Now don't give her money. Don't give her success.
Yeah.
It's only because you are believing that, okay, if I share my success, I'm going to fail. Nazar lag jayegi, then I won't be successful. The moment you get into that, that's the vibration you're sending out, isn't it? So that's what you're getting back. So be comfortable. I would say make that comfort zone your own. It's personal to everybody. Sometimes people don't share, or they feel that, no, I don't want to share, but that doesn't come from a space of being fearful. They just are not. It's their personality. They feel that it's I mean, this is the way I'm working, and this is the success that I'm getting. I don't need to speak about it to prove that I'm successful. Some people feel that they need to sort of, keep hearing it or reiterate it in their minds and speak about it and then feel that success and
Yeah.
people telling them and patting them on the back. Some people don't need it at all. It's a different
Yeah.
personality. So choose the middle path, as you're saying, which is comfortable to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
that we are speaking about on this platform or anything else that you also say are working on for yourself in your life, catch yourself, reflect, and tune into yourself and see, how is this making me feel? The thing that I'm going to say, how is it going to make me feel? Is it going to make me feel very expanded? Is it going to make me feel very constricted? If it's going to make me feel constricted, do I really want to speak about it? Is it going to make me feel happy? Is it going to make me feel sad? Is it going to make the other person feel happy? Or am I saying it to make the other person feel jealous? Then I'm not coming from a very expanded space. And that's not the space that any of us want to live in. If we wanted to live from that constricted space, we would not be here on this talk on this Sunday morning. Isn't it? And some of us understand it, but we're not there. That's also fine.
Yeah, work in progress.
Work in progress. But the fact is that now you are aware.
Yeah.
When you catch yourself feeling that fear, hold on and say, why am I feeling this fear? Why am I feeling this threat? I use this word threat because actually there's a part of us that is threatened, and that's why we feel the fear. Isn't it? So catch yourself there and move into a deeper space of trust. Drop those doubts, drop those fears to whatever level that you can. And if you can't come into that positive space, just come into a space of neutrality. You will automatically move towards the positive. Just don't let yourself slip down into the negative.
Yeah.
I'm feeling disappointed. I'm feeling let down. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. Catch yourself there. I'm sure when you look at other things which you are doing or you are accomplishing or other aspects of your life where you're successful, you'll instantly bounce back. That's why we encourage, write a gratitude journal. Do a lot of gratitude. Do your affirmations. Simple things, no elaborate and long drawn meditations or anything. Just simple things will put you there. You have to choose. We all have limited, say, time on this earth. For some, it could be 50, for 60, 70, 80, 90. How do you choose to live those years is what you can decide. And life may be very hard, very harsh for some. But still, you can choose to be happy because the happiness does not depend on the external circumstances. External things or the material aspect may give you some happiness, but what you really deserve is the joy that you all have within you. And that joy comes from just being in a state of contentment, acceptance, surrender, saying that, yeah, this is the best that it is for the moment, and that's how it is. Now, today on this call, there have been talks which have been so vibrant, maybe, really very involving a lot of people and saying a lot, having a lot of sharing. And sometimes it's just subtle and, flowing the way that it is. But I'm doing my best. Each one of you here are doing your best, isn't it? So if we keep judging, oh, but last Sunday's talk was so much more better, let me try and make next Sunday more better. No, I'm just happy because I know I'm doing my best at this moment. And that contentment will lead to, bringing success into whatever you're doing. And some may say, last Sunday's talk was much better. That's also fine. Some may think that, yeah, this was such a silent and subtle and deep talk. That's also fine. So be content. Just know that you are doing your best. And don't beat yourself up. Just don't beat yourself up. I mean, I'm a person who has just learned to have taught myself to speak in groups like this. I've never done this before. I was very good to do all this in a maths class where I had to teach trigonometry and calculus and algebra and geometry because I had it like this. But talking like this is something which I have brought myself to, and I don't rate myself on any level to all those who are on stage and talking and on Instagram and here there. But I'm just happy where I am. because I speak from my heart, I speak from my experience, and I'm just so satisfied with what I do. And yes, there are times when there's discontent, there are times when you feel low, there are times when different emotions come up, but they're just coming and passing. And that's true for all of you. But if we jump out and latch onto that emotion that, oh, why did I not speak like this? Why didn't I present myself like this? Then I'm just beating myself up. And that does not mean that one should not aspire to do better. Always have that aspiration in your heart. But
I think that's also very important. Yeah.
absolutely. But you don't have to beat yourself with that aspiration.
Yeah.
Right? You have to always look towards. I'm a person who always believes that, yes, why not? Aspire for more, work towards more, pray for more, but let it come at the pace that God wants you to receive it. And be satisfied where you are. Supposing you had thought, okay, now this year I want to do something more. It's not happened. It's okay. Have that trust, but don't give up that aspiration. Just have that trust. Don't give it up. Know that if it is really meant to be for you, it'll happen in the time as we call a divine timing, not your timing. When we intervene and we say, why is this not happening in this month? It has to happen in this month. That's where resistance is coming in. God says, no, it'll not happen in this month. It'll happen next year in this month. So have trust in that. Have faith in that.
Yeah.
Right. So just bring yourself into a space where you're happy and content and peaceful with where you are. And then you will see how abundance actually pours into your life. And today is a very powerful day to seek that abundance. Set your intent, write those intents, meditate with those intents. And then just trust and leave them to the universe for them to be manifested at the time when you are ready to fully enjoy them. Because you'll be in alignment at that time. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to read something that Gitanjali had written. I can't see it now.
Hi,
And
Auntie. Can I
go ahead.
read the question, Auntie, to you?
Yeah,
Can I tell
please.
the question? So the only question from Gitanjali Auntie is that how about a situation you're so happy for others and celebrate them, but when it's your turn, their response is low and lukewarm. So should we just let it go?
Absolutely. Just enjoy that happiness that you enjoyed there. It's lukewarm it's their problem. You don't let your water be lukewarm. You enjoy it to the best. That's where the expectations come in, and that's what we get hit. We lose out on our success also just because the others could not appreciate our success. That's not being fair to yourself, is it? Just because they did not applaud you, or they did not sort of praise you, that does not mean that the joy that you are feeling should be totally fizzled out. Not at all. Not at all.
So rather on the same context, I have a little bit of different thing that you do feel bad, because you are really immersed into the other person's success and say, okay, very nice, that's awesome, and you're genuinely from the bottom of your heart happy. But when the same doesn't apply, I do understand that we shouldn't expect and leave those expectations. But it's so natural कि कभी तो तो वो होता नहीं है, तो I mean then it really gets you down, that we are so happy for others, but why others can't reciprocate even thoda sa?
Okay, so others can't reciprocate. Can you understand that they can't reciprocate? If they were capable of reciprocating, would they not reciprocate?
हमें ही मिलने थे ऐसे लोग, मतलब like really.
But tell me, is it being fair to yourself if you don't enjoy that success or that whatever you've achieved just because the others are not appreciating? Is it really fair on all your efforts?
No, I agree with I'm in total agreement with what you're saying.
So important, the other person's approval. Is it so important?
No, it's not. I'm not talking about approval from the other person. It's just that when we are being like that, I mean, the other person सारा काम हम ही करें. मतलब the other person shouldn't do anything.
I would say enjoy on their behalf also. Take that also. Okay, let me enjoy double because they are not really enjoying our success. And it's okay. They may not be feeling like it. See what a deprived space they are from. It's so sad for them. Isn't it? What a deprived state they are coming from. They don't have that joy within them. They can only share what they have, isn't it? You are so full of joy, and when you see the success, you add to that joy because you're carrying that love, that success, that oneness inside you. But if the other person is only carrying, say, anger or jealousy or envy, then how can they? It's
True.
sad. It's sad that God is
Yeah,
giving.
that's what I say. It's really sad.
But then you have to not judge them and let them be where they are because they're really doing the best that they can. They can't see it. And it's their
We are
journey.
not judging them, Sujata ji. It's not judgment, I would say. I would just say it's a little bit of an expectation. That's it.
Of course, there's
And then you
different.
drop it after a point. It's not like you don't.
Yeah, totally. I
But
know that you don't. I would say that's where you need to stop yourself. Sorry, hold yourself and don't engage in it beyond a point. Don't
yeah.
lose out on your thing. There are others whom you, if you wish to enjoy. And actually, if I can share very honestly, when you start getting into that joyous state and you bring it into your, say, life, into your home, it's so infectious that others invariably cannot escape it. It has to be a really hardened person in the dark who cannot enjoy that. And if they can't, then it's sad for them. Right, but I would not want you to even step down an iota for that. And sometimes this even makes them feel more jealous and more angry and more upset. But then it's for them to see that, the platform is right there for them to be happy. What are they waiting for? But if they can't see it, doesn't just bless them from your heart and carry on.
But
I
having said what I've said, I have to thank you and say thank you, because all the work that we've done on ourselves, where it used to take us, like at least me, where it used to take me like 15 days to get over things, then 1 week, then 3 days, now 2 days, now half an hour, it's gone, it's out of our system.
half an
So
hour, Sumedha, you can't do that. You can't waste 30 minutes.
not even 30, probably a few minutes ke, matlab, like really,
Oh,
and
but
then it's just out of the system, and
maybe
it's not like it's in my being, it's
Yeah.
just out of the system. You thought about it, you accepted that that's the feeling that you're getting, and that's how you've taught us also, that accept what you're going through and then just leave it out, just throw it out.
Absolutely.
So yes, so thank you for bringing us to this state.
Thank you so much. But there may be times when you're not able to throw it out also. I can speak that for myself also. Sometimes there are times, and as much as I try to be silent and not, just try to sort of get out of it. But sometimes you're not able to. And that's also okay. I'm just saying this because, like you're saying, days to hours and minutes, but sometimes you may get caught in that. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to beat yourself up. Just be in that awareness that today I'm really feeling disappointed. Today I'm really feeling low, right? Accept it. And then you will see that it will pass away. So it's not about just about expectations, because sometimes we feel, isn't this the normal way to be? Of course, it's a normal way to be, but obviously, if I cannot enjoy your happiness or your success and I cannot be a part of that, that means that I'm really, really feeling bad about myself. And I need help, isn't it? So just be loving to that person. Anybody who needs help needs love.
Whoever needs help, we send to you, but they don't go only.
It's okay. They'll come when the time is right. It's okay. Just send them love from your heart. They don't need to come to me. They just need love. You can just be as loving, even silently, to them. And train yourself for that.
This what happened with me recently, this thing. And like I said, where it used to take me days and a week and then 3 days and then 2 days or whatever. This happened with me recently, and that's why I say it out of experience, that I shunned it out of my space, and I was just the same way. And when the person called, or I called, or whatever happened, I was just normal with them. There was no feelings in my heart of any anger or bitterness or anything. I said no, I just let it go, send love, and that's it. So yes, I experienced it very, very recently, and like I said, I have to say thank you.
And don't we feel so good when we're able to do that? Not
Yes,
coming from an egoic space, but really looking at them, because we've also been in that dark and deprived space in our lives, haven't we?
of course. Yes,
And
yes,
we're
yes.
able to enjoy it. So that's when I say, I'm not saying you're judging them, but yeah, just do it and then pray for them. That's all that we can do. Pray for them, send them love. And definitely that is so infectious that it does get to the other person. But coming back to, what I was wanting to say is that the universe has so much for everybody. When you see something good, when you see something joyous, take that little bit of a moment to appreciate the other, because you may be saying it just as a remark, but it means so much to the other person. It means so much to the other person. So, and when you're getting into that vibration of appreciation, gratitude, it is such a high vibration, and the universe will only reward you with more situations to be in gratitude to yourself and to the people you love, to anybody, in fact, for that matter. So don't feel deprived when others are more successful. We will feel disappointed, we will feel as if our expectations have not been met, but don't beat yourself up. Make those take them as stepping stones to achieve what you wish to achieve, and I can assure you that you will be in that space sooner or later. Don't measure it with what you have achieved in the outside world. Measure it with how you have grown in your heart. Measure it with how open you are, how much more love you are able to receive and give. Those should be your parameters for success, and not the bank balance and the other achievements that we do. That, yes, they're important, but then they become a default mode when you come into the space of contentment, joy, and happiness. So aim for that contentment, aim for that gratitude, aim for that joy, and then you see how much abundance flows in your life. And when I say abundance, I just don't mean material abundance of people, abundance of, just so much more richness in your life. Aim to build on that. The other things will just follow. Yeah, so make it a point. Just catch yourself when you see somebody achieving something or something good that happens. Take that little extra step to acknowledge it, even if it is in your heart. You don't need to really go out to the other person. If you can do that, that's also wonderful. That's really going one step further. But just in your heart, appreciate and, acknowledge that success. And you will see how success will come to you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, all of you, for being here and sharing your powerful words, your presence. And if all this really touches anybody, any one of you, and helps you to change in whichever way to live your life more with much more richness and abundance, that's all that I'm really aiming for on this platform. So thank you so much for being here.